Hello there, yes. Well, hurtling our way into November, are we not indeed? Yes, one of the odd things about being a baby boomer, like what I am, albeit a very late stage baby boomer with quite a lot of Gen X sensibilities. Yeah, not the band, the actual book, Anyway, is a sort of innate optimism about the future, and being the foolish thing that I am, I do have a great deal of optimism in ordinary people, in particular young ordinary people who I work with on a daily basis, and bring me ever greater sources of joy in terms of them becoming decent human beings. Part of my job, really. Anyway, I was struck by this particular piece on Twitter, which I spied late on Monday night, and I think it gives us a really interesting snapshot of exactly where we are in terms of our media and political landscape. This guy called James Fishback, who's all-American patriot, and he's very keen on young people learning to debate formally. It's important to debate formally, so he's reporting on this particular debate. Anyway, I'll just read the actual piece for you because it tickled me. What you're about to watch is the final round of the most prestigious national high school debate tournament. Team A proceeds to tell Team B they will not be debating the assigned topic, benefits costs of the IMF, because trans people are being genocided by MAGA Republicans, and that is way more important than debating the IMF. And who, after all, can disagree with that? I mean, can you imagine being given that as a debating topic if you're like 17 years old? You go, oh yeah, that's great, thanks mate, yeah, I'm really into that. Yeah, thanks, adult person. Anyway, Team A starts off by playing an audio clip from 1980's AIDS protest and says that 28 states want to kill trans people like her. They tell the judges that this round does nothing to the IMF itself, and as such they have decided that this round is going to be a debate about debate, and the judge's choice instead is whether to affirm our performance. They proudly declare that they will occupy the debate space until trans debaters can participate safely, which is, as somebody who trained as a citizenship teacher, I'm loving that. I think that's brilliant. Young people asserting themselves in a purely democratic way and their right to free speech and indeed association and protest. Who could possibly argue with that? He can. Anyway, Team B then immediately concedes the round because they don't want to dispute that trans genocide is real and be labelled transphobic. The rest of the round is a struggle session where Team A states that misgendering is violent and that if you do it, you should automatically lose. This is the final round of the most prestigious high school debate tournament of the school year, and they made a mockery of it with their selfish, unintelligible, performative rant. It sounds perfectly intelligible to me. Teammates are sticking with one of their colleagues who wanted to make a political point very effectively, especially in a national debate. Well done to all parties, but it does get better, folks. In capitals, the worst part, the judges praised Team A for their bravery and courage and crowned them national champions. This is sick. It's anti-merit, anti-debate and anti-American. No wonder droves of kids are quitting high school debate. And to which I, of course, would say, yes, if you give them the topic about the IMF, I think I would quit as well. I'm not a high school kid. That bores the hell out of me. The National Speech and Debate Association cannot be reformed. It's time for a viable high school debate alternatives to stand up and welcome young Americans who actually want to debate. I believe my non-profit, Incubate Debate, will be one of those alternatives. Yes, well done, James, indeed. Why is this indicative? Well, because I think increasingly we are seeing young people who are doing these kind of things. What they're doing is effectively saying, no, we're not playing by those rules. I will remind those of you of a certain age that there was a very famous episode of University Challenge. Sorry, lost it for a second there. University Challenge, where to protest about the fact that both Oxford and Cambridge got to basically hog all the awards because they could enter individual colleges rather than just the one university. A team from Manchester, I believe it was, only answered with all of the questions with the names of Marxist leaders. Contained one such superluminary of David Aranovich, who went on to be a firm supporter of the Iran-Iraq War, along with loads of other reactionary things. How times change, but nevertheless, people making a stand against what they see as a rigged system. Exactly the same, isn't it? Yes, young people actually doing things. Why is this relevant to now? Well, because we do live in that exact environment as well, where people, when they refuse to play by the rules, let's say you're a Conservative MP on a sort of minor political level who refuses to accept that, you know, it might be a good idea to have a ceasefire in Gaza, then you're just sacked. Like, that's somehow a really out there position to have, yeah? And, you know, just last night there was a sit-down demonstration joined by an awful lot of commuters in one of London's stations. People just saying, no, we don't agree with this stuff, yeah? We're not doing this anymore. And, you know, for me as an advocate of advocacy, if you like, that's a wonderful thing. So how does the establishment deal with this? Well, they just go into a kind of meltdown whereby all of the usual voices out there are really into free speech, and people should be able to make up their own mind, and it's the marketplace of ideas, and oh, it's so important that we debate things, have just decided to shut everything down, haven't they? Yeah, your James Whittles and your and your Douglas Murrays, who basically want to machine gun people off the streets. And, you know, the powers that be effectively just don't know what to do with this because they've lost the media narrative. So all they can do is decide simply just to change the rules. That's all they can do. Change the rules in our own favour once again. But, again, people won't play by those rules. What are you going to do, realistically, with all of those people out there that can see for themselves? That they are going to be given a choice of either having the Conservatives back and all of the monstrous nothingness that entails, or they can have the other Conservatives under Keir Starmer, a man who cannot even bring himself to suggest that not killing civilians might have some merit. We will see a lot more of this stuff, and we will see increasing calls from the proper establishment to shut this stuff down, and they will really become vitriolic about it. And all of those free-thinking individuals like the Coast Guy, who's forever banging on about the establishment, will not say boo, hiss about actual people's rights being removed. Yeah, the Iron Fist no longer in the velvet glove. We'll see where this goes, but you cannot stop people, no matter how hard you try, from simply believing the truth as they see it. And it's especially true of young people, and I love it when they do it. I think it's the future. Ooh. Anyway, do have a lovely Wednesday. Yeah, it's going to be really windy tomorrow. Ooh.